By Acacia is similar to Acacia in the type of wines that we make, but we have the advantage of sourcing grapes all over the state for Burgundian-style wines. We draw fruit from Santa Barbara, Mendocino, from Monterey, and Edna Valley.
By Acacia really is a good Central Coast representation of Chardonnay and Pinot Noirs and red blends.
The Central Coast, it's similar in temperatures to maybe Carneros, but the terroir is different, the wind direction is different, it keeps it cool. All Burgundian grapes require a cooler climate. That's the advantage of this area. Right now I'm standing in Edna Ranch, which is one of our main sources of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. This particular area is unique because of its location to the ocean, and if you look out towards the mouth of the valley, you can see a fog bank. This cool wind that's blowing through here cools the vines every day in a normal summer day, which is perfect for the growing season for Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. There's several types of soil here at Edna Ranch. There's a lot of this limestone type rock. This is formed from old seabeds which were sedimentary, which hardened over time to become this limestone. And you can hear how hard it is. This is the perfect type of soil you'd like to see around Burgundian vines. This particular region gives you a white peach character, a flavor in the wine. Santa Barbara is a little more steely, more of a Chablis type character. And if you go up to Arroyo Seco, you get a lot more citrus and tropical notes in the wine. So we have a tendency to like to get fruit from all these areas because that's what makes a fuller profile for our wines. We probably buy grapes from maybe 15 or 20 major growers.
We're here at Pfeiffer Vineyards. Charlie Pfeiffer, the owner, is so key in how quality is done. He gets it and he understands what it is the winery and the grower need to have together.
I grow Syrah for By Acacia. This particular site was one I selected after looking at many other places. It was just some cow trails, barbed wire, nothing. But I knew the water. There was one well that was already in place. And the climate here is perfect, and the soil is perfect. There's a total of 95 acres that are cultivated and growing grapes right now. There's not a bad view on this ranch, and it grows good grapes. This is Tucker, and that's Jake. They won't let me go anywhere without them. They're my best friends.
We go through a pretty rigorous certification that evaluates all the sustainable practices that we employ on the vineyard. Part of sustainability is giving back to your immediate community, and part of that immediate community is your workforce. So some of our vineyards have actually gone so far as to create organic gardens that the employees participate in, and then they get the yields or the harvest off of whatever it is they grow.
Typical harvest? Let's see.
Harvest is when it all comes to fruition. If you blow that, you've blown 12 months.
In Napa, we would probably start harvesting about the first or second week in September, some of the whites. And they probably would wrap that up by the second or third week in October. In the Central Coast, the warmer regions, we'll start harvesting sometimes in August, late August, and we'll finish not until November. So we have a longer season because the microclimates are so diverse in this area up and down the coast. For By Acacia, we pick about 2,500 tons of grapes for our 3 varieties. This is where we make By Acacia wine. The first step is actually out at the crusher or the presses. We're standing in front of these presses. The white grapes are pressed for the juice, which goes into the winery. The red grapes are pumped into the winery. They're fermented, and then they come back out as pumice like this. This pumice is used, it's recycled for fertilizer, basically. It's our pumice mountain back there. 60% of our Chardonnay is barrel fermented. Right now, we're in a large barrel room which contains 30 to 35,000 barrels. We top and stir the barrels every 3 to 4 weeks, and then we top and stir the barrels on a regular basis for about 4 to 6 months. That other 40% stays in stainless steel tanks. All of these tanks are fermentation tanks. They're jacketed so that we can heat and cool them as we need to, and they're temperature regulated. This room itself has about 190 tanks that are sized from about 6,500 gallons to about 30,000 gallons. We keep the wine in separate lots, and then we evaluate those lots and blend them together just before bottling so that we can regulate how much oak is in the wine, how much fruit is in the wine. For the Pinot Noir, we like to give it at least 4 to 6 months in barrels after it's through fermenting, so that whole process probably takes about 9 to 10 months. The red blend, we use a red fermentation process very similar to the Pinot Noir. We don't get ahead of the fruit, we don't do a lot of manipulation on the grapes. We really work hard in the vineyard to get the best fruit in. We just let that fruit express itself in the wine.
Tom Westberg is a really great winemaker.
I've been a winemaker for almost 25 years now. I've worked mainly in the Paso Robles area. In the last 10 years, I've been making wine all over California.
Tom is a grower for himself. He grows Zinfandel on the west side of Paso Robles. Some winemakers grow their own grapes, many don't. He understands the grower side. He's living it every single day. He really gets harvest because he has his own set of issues to deal with at home.
Well, Stacy C., she and I work very closely together at all phases of the growing season, and especially during harvest, when it's so critical that we get the grapes in at the right time and in the right condition. She's essential to the A by A program. A by Acacia produces 3 wines: a Chardonnay, a Pinot Noir, and a Rhone blend, or red blend as we call it. Chardonnay, because it is a blend of grapes from several different areas, really exhibits a flavor profile that has tropical notes. It has white peach character, which comes from this particular vineyard. It has apple and pear type characters from some of the cooler regions that we source fruit from. Okay, Stacy, here's some of the 2009 A by Acacia Chardonnay. This has a lot of the Arroyo Seco character. It's got a really nice pineapple.
There's just a hint of oak in there, which I really like.
The A by Acacia Pinot Noir has the most Burgundian characteristics of any Pinot Noir in its price range. The most forward flavor is probably the cherry notes. Behind that, there's a certain amount of spice. It's an excellent wine for almost any occasion. The A by Acacia Red Blend is a very interesting wine. The majority of the wine in this, although it changes slightly from year to year, is usually Syrah. Syrah, of course, has its own blueberry character. It has really soft tannins. It's big, lush wine. And then we complement that with some Grenache, which gives it some strawberry notes. We also add a little bit of Viognier, a very aromatic white grape. It gives it a character which is different from just another red blend. It's very similar to what is done in the Rhone blends in France. I feel comfortable here. I've been in this Paso Robles area for over 20 years. It's been a great advantage to be able to pull grapes in from the rest of California. The Wine Spectator recently reviewed our Pinot Noir and last year our Chardonnay. I'm very happy with the scores we got. I think that we can continue to hit that level of quality as we go forward.
As always, please enjoy our wines responsibly.